TVA was assessed a $70,000 civil penalty in this, in the quality, because of the quality assurance program failures, basically. Yeah. And it's noted that the TVA did not report the breakdown in the quality assurance program to the NRC even when it was reasonably apparent. Now, has all this been corrected? Of course, within the same area here, it says that the Region 2 administrator for the construction, Fred Brown, said that TVA has aggressively addressed these issues. But I'm interested in y'all and the inspectors. Is there going to be any more further quality assurance programs? I mean, are those parts still, are there still commercial non-nuclear graded parts in place out there, or has the NRC and TVA went in and inspected all the parts, and y'all are willing to say, hey, okay, everything is up and above board now, everything's rated for a nuclear plant? Is there going to be further problems there?
So we identified a violation with their commercial grade dedication process, how they were going about dedicating commercial grade equipment parts for application in nuclear power plant. And we have followed up on the corrective actions, the changes that they've made to their program, such that future commercial grade dedication applications where they bring in those parts and want to use them in the plant will be acceptable. That they have the right program in place right now to complete those dedication processes. We also looked at TVA's actions to say, okay, what have they already procured under that problem, under that program that had these problems? And they went back and looked at all the items that they procured, both in the warehouse and in the plant, and to our satisfaction, they have looked at all those items and deemed those items either acceptable for use or they've replaced them. So we think they have fixed the problem as far as there was a program issue, and they went back and looked at where that may have caused problems in the plant and addressed that. As far as the reportability, you mentioned that, reporting to the NRC, that was another issue where they had a flaw in their program as far as how they went about looking at those type of issues and whether they determined that it should be reported to the NRC, and they have since fixed that.
And that's been fixed?
Yes.
Okay. Thanks, I appreciate it.
Just to follow up on that, so you're comfortable that there's not a single item in the plant right now that has not been properly inspected and certified?
So remember, we're a sampling organization. We don't look at 100% of pretty much anything. So what we do look at are, the corrective actions. Do they have appropriate corrective actions? If taken, will resolve the problem. And then we sample those. So that's what we did for this issue. So we did not go out and look at the 5,000 or 50,000, whatever the number was. We did not look at each one of those items. We looked at the corrective actions they had in place. Was the scope appropriately to bound the problem? And then we sampled certain items to make sure that they were following the process.
So there could well be a pipe fitting in the plant now that hasn't been inspected and certified?
If TVA took the corrective actions that they had within their program, if TVA took those corrective actions, and we believe they did, the answer is no, that they would have addressed this. Yes, ma'am.
I was curious about that too, because a year ago you said there was still a still undetermined number of this part. So basically, somehow you identified the determinate number, and TVA has told you that they have inspected all of those. Is that correct?
TVA identified the population based on their records on what they had procured under the commercial grade dedication program. And again, whether it was installed in the plant or in the warehouse or where it was. So they identified the population and the actions that they needed to take to make sure either it was acceptable for use or they replaced it, or if it was in the warehouse, they might have done the same thing.
So they've done that since last year.
That process, it took them a while just because of the numbers. Joe, how many items are we talking about that you guys have to go back and look at?
For Walspar 2, there were 500 specific category IDs.
Yeah, but when it boiled down to actual parts, it was a lot higher than that.
Numerous samples for each category.
Yes. It's, and it took them a while to do that, and that's why last year, when we reported out that they were in the process, and now we can report the fact they have completed the corrective actions. We have followed up with our inspection of those corrective actions, and we're satisfied that they've completed them.